Yes, I do not want this on consent. I feel like this is a redundant resolution. We've got it used to be the inclusionary office, now it's the people and belonging department. And I was looking at their website today and some of the comments. We believe that everyone, no matter who they are, deserves fair opportunities and a community that supports them. We're passionate about creating a place for everyone. We tackle barriers that prevent people from feeling included and educate others about why. And that's from the director, Remy Epps. From their mission, it's to cultivate an exclusive, equitable, and supportive community by embracing diversity, equity, and inclusion principles. In their vision, our goal is to create an environment where diversity is celebrated, all voices are heard, and every person has equal access to opportunity. So I feel like we have created this department. Their budget for 2025 was $751,000. We gave them an increase of 64%, which was $294,000, and added an additional person. So why are we doing a resolution when a resolution is what we just talked about earlier? It's just an opinion. It's not an action. We've created this department to handle this. So is the department not doing what they need to be doing? Maybe that's where there needs to be some accountability. But I think, once again, I don't agree with this, with a resolution.
We can't make the decision locally to do this.
That's right. The state would have to enable this through statute.
Because I was mentioned specifically by a colleague's comments, I'm going to do my best to direct them to the mayor, but I do want to remind everyone, we have long meetings. This is another one. But we've had folks come to us about both this and the previous issue, ranked choice voting and trans or an LGBTQIA plus resolution at past meetings. I have spoken in support of what they've asked about in those meetings. I have said I'd be willing to work with them or colleagues to write something, and that I'd be willing to work with colleagues who were interested. And I worked with the folks who were interested. So I apologize if it seemed like a surprise. I'm not sure why it would seem like a surprise, given that I've said it before and that I am an LGBTQIA plus member who's been out since I ran, and certainly the whole time I've been on here. And I just because I've bit my tongue for 4 years, but I'll go ahead and say it in a meeting finally. My pronouns are they, them, and I've heard. Thanks. It's just what it is. But appreciate it. I've said this to each colleague here. It's been written in multiple emails by me and other colleagues. I've heard colleagues on this body in meetings lean over and remind other colleagues of that. And I don't know how many times I've heard all kinds of wild things about why my pronouns are just some kind of BS in the minds of some people, including, I think, some people on this body. And even if that isn't how someone feels, that's how it comes across every time someone says, Commissioner Houle, he, even when they've been reminded in that same meeting. And that's happened plenty. So I don't think we need to get into petty arguments with each other about whose identities matter more. I think we just need to stand up for each other, because all of our identities matter. What it means to support diversity is to support each other's differences. And when someone who's about to become president of the United States is specifically attacking specific differences, and their campaign is spending more money on those differences than anything else that they campaigned on, including all the things that poll after poll says we all care about more, maybe now's the time to say something. God forbid we express our opinion. If this is our opinion, if everybody behind this rail really feels this way, it shouldn't be hard to just say aye and say it's our opinion and move on. I mean, honestly, if everyone just said nothing or that, I wouldn't be saying anything else right now. You better believe there's going to be at least as many people at the podium on December 3rd now. Nobody liked being here for hours. It was nice to hear so much support, but we're hungry, we're tired, right? So if it's really so easy if it's really just our opinion, then just say you support it and let's move on. And, maybe take seriously that if you're not always getting everything right, you could listen to a colleague from once in a while, Golly.
Just go through the Human Relations Council. That's why we created the Human Relations Council. So I don't know whether or not it went through them to have that conversation. And let me say this. I support our community, but as a black man in this country, have been called the N-word, and called all kinds of things. You know, if we're going to create a resolution, and we include people what I call all protected groups, I think it's difficult. And I'm gonna idea we're going to talk about a resolution about this community and what we want Athens to be like. I've been here over 40 years, love this community. Don't want to live anywhere else. But I know what the reality is about being a black man and what it can mean sometimes. I can leave here tonight, and who knows what can happen if I get stopped. Because I know I have to put my hands on the steering wheel. I'm reaching for my license. Those are reality in our lives. So I just want to say that and be, you know, and think about, you know, how we want to look at that and what we want to say about what our community means and how we want to be inclusive of everybody.
Just a couple years ago, the state of Tennessee, right over the border, effectively made being transgender illegal by prohibiting the wearing of opposite sex clothing anywhere where children might be present.